I was going to just ask you how you came to suddenly start urban farming.
Right, well, although I'd been a cook for many, many years, I was really the kind of person that couldn't keep a houseplant alive, and so I just had no clue about gardening, but I thought, God, I love vegetables so much that I thought one day I might make a good gardener. So my now ex-husband and I bought a house 7 years ago, just 2 blocks down, and we were sort of exploring the neighborhood one day and just walked past here, and I noticed that there were a couple of empty plots and that there was a number on the gate, so I rang up and got my name on the list, basically. Then completely forgot about it and walked away, and then out of the blue, 3 years later, I got a call from Haringey Council offering me plot number 5, and it was just an embarrassment of riches because, these people already had this small strip, and there's another plot over there which is completely shady because there's a huge tree there, and the tree sucks the nutrition out of the soil. And there was this plot, that right in the middle, full sun.
Couldn't be better, really.
Exactly. So I was overwhelmed, and so I just plunged in, and it was just a complete jungle of brambles and.
And you'd never done it before in gardens or stuff. It was just completely new.
Completely new. And in fact, although I tried to sort of read up on it, I found it really difficult to absorb a lot of the stuff that I read, just because I had no clue, which was also an inspiration for the book that I wrote, New Urban Farmer, because I really wanted to write something that would be engaging and just not dry.
Yeah, some of them are really dense and they're fantastic just to dip into, but if you try and read the whole thing, it's just, nothing like trying it and reading little bits, but
there's no substitute for experience, basically. I mean, of course, but the same as with learning how to cook, but I mean, it was, in fact, the very first year we hardly did anything to the soil. I thought, well, let's just see what the soil has to offer, kind of thing, which was just a silly experiment, because that is the first rule of good gardening, is that you feed the soil and it will feed you, and so I've learned that lesson. But
then you didn't really know, as you said, what you had. I mean, we've actually found in our back garden that the soil's a lot better than we would have expected, and we have put stuff in, but not as much as we expected to need to, actually. We've been pretty lucky. Right. It's good soil and quite far down. We haven't got rubbish underneath. I mean, apart from where they've decided that they're going to bury some rubble from doing building works and God knows what. But other than that, we've been pretty lucky on that front.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, my soil's pretty healthy too, although it's very dense, and I think a lot of London is quite sort of clay laden, so it does get very sort of hard packed. But
and you were just saying you've dug in some manure, some rotted manure.
Yes, I invested in. This is the first year I've actually invested in some proper manure. You can see there's a pile here of compost that the council gives us for free.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and that's actually pretty good. I mean, that's sort of just garden waste that's been composted, and
it's quite rich.
It's quite twiggy, and when it was delivered, it was steaming hot. So it's definitely alive. So yeah, that's pretty good stuff. It's good texture for the soil, and then I make my own compost in these bins. From the more you grow, the more kind of compostable matter you end up with. So
we finally went for a bin this year. We used to have a low home-built kind of wooden thing that was the compost pile, and it did work, but it took such a long time, I think, because it was low and wide, didn't get the heat. Right. So going to the bin does make it a little bit quicker.
Yeah, it still takes about a year, I guess, but it's quite effective.